What's going on, gamers? Or should I say, painters. Sorry, I missed the timer there a little bit. I was just getting some final things ready. Apparently I'm not fast enough. Also, I have no Twitch channel right now, or Twitch chat right now. I know Lord Area Can subbed before the timer, or while we were in our pre-stream, but I can't remember anyone else who might have. Let me go reestablish my Twitch chat here so I can see the things, all of the things. Hopefully that does it. There's someone else's Twitch channel on it. Yeah, that's not it. That's not it. It went away. Fuck. We're flying blind right now, chat. Wait, no. We're not flying blind. We're not flying blind. Okay. Very riveting stream. I'm just AFK. All right, I'm back. Okay, cool. Travel Cedric with the sub. Thank you very much. Hey, Hand Dan. I hope you're doing well too. The slurping transition is freaking hilarious. Glad to hear it. Rolls Royce, thanks for the sub. Today we're painting more Necromunda because I can't get enough of this game. It's got so much character and I'm really enjoying it. I've made some progress since you guys have last seen what I've painted. Those 3 guys I was working on, they're all done. I painted another dude's head beyond that, and I assembled and primed 3 more dudes. And so I'm kind of getting it done here. But before we look at the Necromunda dudes, let's take a look at some stuff I got in the mail. I got some stuff from a company called Warboss Miniatures. The website is warbossminiatures.com. They're making a game called Reliquary, I believe. 1 second. Oh! I don't think the game is purchasable at the moment. It's hard to remember all the details because I'll have like an email conversation with the company like 3 months, like in the past, and then like stuff will like show up, and I'll like have like emailed them once or twice in between them, but I can't remember all the details. But anyways, I got minis here, and I want to show you them, which I believe they're minis for a crowdfunding campaign. I think once you go to that website, warbossminiatures.com, I think there's like a way to sign up for a mailing list so you can check it out. Speaking of mail time, I got that bust from the last giveaway you did in the mail. Thanks so much. Oh, thank you for keeping us honest, because I totally just threw that back in the giveaway because that thing was popping in and out of like, we're gonna do a giveaway for it. Oh no, we're not. Just kidding. So I kind of forgot where we're at with it. So in my haste, I just threw it back in the giveaway box. So thank you for keeping us honest. All right. First of all, we got a lovely trebuchet. It looks like whoever sent this primed everything. Not only just primed it, but zenithally primed it. Here, let's see if we can get a little top-down shot. Hey, that's a little bit better of a shot. Okay, a trebuchet. Uh-oh, got a little breakage here. Nothing that some super glue can't fix. A little bit of feedback for the creator. That probably isn't the most stable thing. I might even just nix that rope altogether because it doesn't make sense anyways. And then have some kind of like triangulated support like here to here. Like another rope and stuff like that, because that's gonna break all the time. Anyways, it's trebuchet. It's pretty cool. This game can be played, I think, in a campaign system, but also it can be played in skirmish battles, I believe, if I read the website correctly. All right, what am I seeing here? Audio died? Lost audio of that over the shoulder. It's back now? So there's just a hiccup there. It's the rope they cut to release the payload. That's cool. You're probably right about the historical accuracy, but it's probably gonna break a lot. I understand it is 3D printed resin, but it's a little thin piece of plastic or cast resin. It ain't gonna hold up. Ain't gonna hold up. All right, what is in the box that is inside the box? Oh my God. Is there more big things? I don't know. Let's find out. I think it's that one scene that has audio missing. So you can hear me now. I mean, you shouldn't have lost audio over the shoulder. That's a very common scene for me to use. But maybe. All right, well, looks like we got some zombies here. Okay, so just so you guys are aware, what this is right now is this is like an intermediate for like a sponsorship. Like a lot of companies aren't willing to pay a sponsorship fee, and so I offer this as an option. I say I'll open your product on stream, and I'll give you my first impressions. Which means that it's not going to be just like positive things. I'm also going to give feedback. I'm also going to critique stuff. So these are zombies. Let's get to the painting cam and let's see if that audio is really fucked. So you guys can't hear me anymore? What's in the box? Audio bad? We're good? Okay, cool. All right. Let's take a look at these zombies. They have incredibly long torsos that are probably too long. You know, like the top half of the body should not be the same length as the bottom half of the body. It should be shorter for most humans. And I'm looking at these faces here. I'm not seeing any pupils. I'm just seeing some very basic face anatomy. The models are very basic, not a lot of detail. It's kind of simple. And sometimes simple is good. Simple is easier to paint, that's for sure. Check out some other ones. Got another little breakage there, but again, it's 3D printed resin. A lot of wrinkles under the eyes. Probably too much, if I'm being quite honest. Because there's an eyelid, then there's a wrinkle under that eyelid, and then there's another wrinkle under that wrinkle. Maybe a little bit too much going on there. Okay, that was one bundle. We got some zombs. I am not most humans. The zombies just wear really saggy pants. Looks like we got some, ooh. We're in a bag now. Also, he must have just primed it and put it right in the bag because there's primer that is stuck to the bag, but also you can just see it on the back of the minis. Got a little carved up. And also I can smell it. I don't care about that, it doesn't matter. My models aren't gonna arrive to you primed. All right, here we go. Fucking daddy long legs right there. Got some Skelly boys. Some banner people. Looks a little bit awkward that like his like waist just begins. It's like, you know, he probably got some hip bones, but it's like almost like a person with flesh is wearing the pants immediately below what I believe is the spinal column. Got some bendy. Oh my God, that is very flexible. Okay. Some skeletons. Yeah, right. Crossbow zombs. So it looks like we got maybe like an undead faction going here. Okay, I'm seeing some pupils now. I'm seeing some actual detail protruding from the eye sockets. Maybe the crows picked them clean on the top. Possibly. All right, yeah, more of the zombie faction. Okay, got some of a necromancer right here. All right. Okay. Then there is a wrapped. Oh, we got some. Okay, these are bases. Oh no, they're not bases. Okay, so this must be for the campaign play. We have some hexagons with various, you know, Catan-esque buildings and trees on them. A smaller scale than Catan, but still 3D and cool. These are cool. Okay, I like these a lot. Oh, look at the detail on the trees. Wait, what's the? Oh man, it feels like turf. You know, it's so flexible. Best guns. I'm really curious what they're gonna do for manufacturing, because casting that in resin is literally impossible. That would be just the biggest amount of misery known to mankind. They might be doing just 3D printing. Hub the Hobby Daddy. Thank you for this, appreciate it. I'm liking these. I'm gonna keep these for like I don't even know what. Ah man, but the detail, I love that. Little wagon hitch right there, dude. Nice. Okay. That must be for the campaign play. We call it the tree tail. Do I get another break on my car insurance since we are going steady for so long, baby? No, definitely not. Are you kidding me? There are no breaks here. All right, looks like, okay, we got one more rectangular box. I'm guessing that we're gonna get maybe a different faction in this box. If you like to look, you should check out Hexton Hills on My Mini Factory. Okay. You know, I know there are some guys, not some guys, but what's the name? Mini Wargaming that are doing like, is it a large Lord of the Rings campaign or an Age of Sigmar campaign where they're like printing out like a ton of hex tiles? It's pretty cool. All right. Let's just look at one of these rolls. Oh yeah, baby. Okay, so we're getting some knights. That probably broke, I'm guessing. Yeah, that broke. Some armored dudes. Oh, and then we got some dudes with capes and guns. Still rocking armor though. Okay, some guys with like their visors open. Let me just peek what's in the other wrap. I'm gonna guess it's things that aren't armored. Oh no, it's more of the tile. Wait, no, I'm an idiot. That's the thing I already opened. I was like, it's more tiles, guys, yes! But I do get a lead at Occulta. Yeah, you know, that's usually how it works. Okay, I'm glad I opened this one, because these are where the chunky guys are. This is where the characters live. Okay. This guy, holy buckets. He's just got a fucking arm coming out of his bicep right there, dude. And a mask on his head. I love those helmets like that. They're just flat topped. Also the chainmail is nice. These seem more like characters. That guy's kind of got a similar hollow eye socket thing going on, but like his eyes aren't shaped like almonds. They're shaped like, I don't know. And then the last character mini. Oh, big chonker. Okay, overall, models are quite basic. The poses are quite basic. The anatomy is quite basic. In some cases, it's a little bit wonky because the torso, head, arm region is so long. Basic models aren't bad. They're easy to paint. But if that's not what you're after, that's not what you're after, you know? They're pretty basic. I hope that whatever production methodology they use to make these models does not match what I was sent today, because a lot of the weapons are broken. I would say like out of the 40 models, probably like 5 to 10 have broken weapons, which that's like a huge failure rate. But I'm just gonna guess these are prototypes, which is very common because you're not gonna do your production run before you've done your crowdfunding campaign. But that's that. Warboss Miniatures with their game Reliquary, which you can find more information about at warbossminiatures.com. Okay. I might keep the trebuchet. Pop back here. Hexton Tiles, actually cool project. Nice. Okay. Let me just briefly put these minis back, and then we'll take a look at what I've completed with my Necromunda gang. And then what we're gonna work on today, which is more Necromunda. And I talk about A Song of Ice and Fire Tactics yet. We talked about it when it was like very first announced, but like we haven't really talked about it much since the GameFound's campaign has been released. It looks pretty cool. They feature only Baratheons and Targaryens, which I don't know if that means that we're not going to get like rules for other factions, or maybe they'll come later. But I really hope that we do get rules for every model in the game of Song of Ice and Fire. Maybe not every model, but like a solid representation from every faction. Because that's kind of the whole selling point for me. Like I do not want to buy more models to play this game. Like I already paint the minis for Song of Ice and Fire like I'm playing a skirmish war game, like one at a time. So it would work so perfectly if it just was, you know, the solution that I want out of the box. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. There have been a ton of new models and stuff released. Yes, I've seen quite a few of them. There's a lot of Targaryen stuff, which I was excited about for Curtis because he plays Targaryen. I want to boost some news in case anyone hasn't heard. Yeah, Peachy left. What's the name? Painting Phase. He left the painting phase and he made a new channel called Peachy Tips. Just creative differences. Honestly, I didn't understand why he was working with people anyways to begin with. Well, I mean, I kind of get it because like if you don't want to do all the work for making a video, like editing and all that bullshit, then yeah, finding someone to do that for you is nice. But in regards to who's in front of the camera, who's talking, who's sharing information, the only reason that channel is successful is because of Peachy. So I don't know why he wasn't on his own in the first place. Maybe it's because of that aforementioned reason, not wanting to do all that work. The area model looks kind of wonky. I mean, yeah, there's a bit of wonk. The first version of Asha in A Song of Ice and Fire is woof. I mean, I still don't like the Balon model. I think it's trash. I think the Theon model is trash. There's definitely some bad models in Song of Ice and Fire. Got firing shots. Hey man, do you disagree with me? Like, would anyone watch the painting phase in the beginning for anyone other than, you know, Peachy? That's why that channel got a kickstart, right? Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like that's gotta be true. Okay, let's take a look at what I finished. See, my models are kind of a good chunk of the time. They are. They're definitely the kind of models you can make look good with a great paint job, but also you gotta kind of work with it, you know? It's hard. It's definitely harder. All right. Pop this paint cam on. I didn't mind painting phase, but Peachy is standalone talent. Hell yeah. Okay. What drew you to House Cador? I like the medieval mask hood look from the original Necromunda. Yeah, definitely. Definitely there's a little bit of like medieval vibe there, and I love that. Also the religious fanaticism. I like them and Delac. I don't know why I like Delac. It's mostly like a design thing with Delac. They just look cool to me. All right, anyways. Here are my finished gangers. There's that middle one. Oh, look at that, guys. You thought I couldn't do the eyeballs inside the masks? Well, think again. Nailing it. Did I get that one too? Oh, little jank. Little jank. We did it. We did it. Delac is cool. It's very cool. Who doesn't love janky ass guns? Dude, absolutely. These guys like strap trash to themselves. Come on. I subbed the painting phase when Peachy joined. Didn't watch a lot, to be honest. I watched a couple. You know, I didn't watch any like the podcasts, but I feel like I should. But I watched a couple of his videos. I remember the Ewok one where like they're all fucking murdering bitches. But here's my little gang so far. We got the Word Keeper in the back. We got the champion, I can't remember his name, right there. And then 3 gangers, probably Ezekiel, Malachi, and Verlin. And then that means that's Jedediah, and that means that's Barabbas. But I have plans, chat. Okay, anyways. Here are our 3 new gangers. We had 2 bone pickers. They're headless at the moment. Loving the names, thank you. This would be Solomon? No, Solomon is a ganger. He is not a bone picker. What about bone picker? Oh, Abraham's one of them. I can't forget. This is why this game is so much fun, because it has so much character, or at least it has as much character as you want to put into it. It's kind of like an RPG, really, as much as I know about RPGs. Who's the other one? Who's the other one? Lazarus. Okay, so my 2 bone pickers are Lazarus and Abraham, headless men. One thing that is weird about Necromunda, any thoughts on playing the old world with your vampires? Probably not going to happen just because of the bases alone. Like that is an army for Age of Sigmar. It is going to remain for Age of Sigmar. But my wood elves are basically still 50% ready to go for fantasy. So that's going to be my old world army, and I'm very hyped for it. And then this is my other ganger. This is Solomon. Am I going to do a battle report for Necromunda? Will it be narrative? The campaign right now is narrative. We're playing a narrative campaign called Dominion. Am I going to do a battle report? Maybe. Like, I mean, like if I have a painted faction for it, like possibly. The frickin' terrain that the guy who I'm playing with, who's running the campaign, his name is John. He has just a beautiful collection of terrain and can make an amazing setup, which would make for a really cool battle report, if I'm being quite honest. Okay, so I got those 3 assembled and primed. Their heads are also on pieces of cork. I went to a little hobby sesh with my dudes, people in the campaign, and I painted up this guy. I painted this with Pro Acrylic paints. I'm like trying to re-explore that paint range, just to see. Because you know, like Jason really made me a believer while he was here. I was like, God damn, like your paint is special and different. So I'm trying to like justify that claim in my head just to feel like if it is special and different. What about Necromunda drew me in? Nothing really. We had finished our Age of Sigmar campaign and we were like, hey, should we do another one of these things? And everyone was like, yeah. And then everyone was like, what should we play? And we kind of just started throwing games out. And then the guy who was in our group, his name was John Schaefer. He was in my video about like how to finish painting your Age of Sigmar armies. He really loves Necromunda. It's his favorite game. And so he recommended it. And we're like, sure, let's try it out. So that's kind of really, that's how it came to be. I've been painting a ton, but not gamed yet. And looking at skirmish style formats because the amount of models seems reasonable to paint. Absolutely. You know what? I don't know if I'd recommend Necromunda for a situation like that. It sounds like you want to get pickup games in and just play very occasionally. And I don't know if Necromunda really is good for that exactly. I could be wrong, but it really comes to life in a campaign. It really does. You can easily use adaptive movement trays. Can I? Well, help me out here. If that's the case, then sure, why not? But if a skeleton's on a 28 mil circle, are they on a 25 mil square? Because if that's the case, then I'm kind of screwed. Because Jason is your primary financial backer. I fucking wish, bro. I wish I had someone to give me money. No, like really, the way he was talking about it was just so impassioned, and it was so like he was so convincing. And so I'm just trying to figure out if the things he are saying actually like telegraph or not telegraph, but if they actually amount to a different painting experience for me as an individual. If I'm being quite honest, painting that one head again, not really. But I think where Pro Acrylic paint really comes to life is when you mix it. So I want to try doing more of that with the range. Teague like League, what up, buddy? I've been making a ton of adapter trays for friends who want to convert round to square. A lot of oval bases are wonky to convert though. Yeah, ovals would be weird, yeah. AKA all of my fucking Shatterpoint? No. All my Blood Knights. I'm getting Ewoks for Shatterpoint this week. I thought they were all coming out February like 23rd or something. Instead, is that this weekend? Maybe it's the 22nd. Today's the 15th? No. When? Thursday's the 15th. I don't know. I thought they were coming out a little bit later. I could be wrong. Pepe Milkshake. I don't know what the square size is because they increased in the old world. But obviously, if I could do that, I 100% would. 100% would play fantasy with my dudes. That's what I played when I played fantasy. I played vampire counts and what else? So I'd love to play it again with my old stuff. We're doing a campaign in 40K soon, which is centered around a dead craft world that keeps saving souls in the Nexus. That sounds fucking fun. They have Ewoks. They have a lot of fucking Ewoks, bro. Scott trying to pretend it's after Valentine's Day. Dude, I hope it's not after Valentine's Day or else I fucked up. I'm gonna tell Amber. Yeah, please. Yeah, you're right, Exigent. The Blood Knights and Direwolves would be a little tricky. For small games, I suggest Grimdark Firefight. Yeah, that's the OPR game, right? I haven't even finished the starter set for Old World, Rufus, or Age of Fantasy Skirmish. Ooh, Age of Fantasy Skirmish. That is the community-made game, right? Okay, we've done all the chatting. That sounds like friggin' sweet. Paint Gray Rainbow. Paint the Gray Rainbow. What up, Joyous Knight? Oh, the Shatterpoint starter. Okay, you got the Night Sisters box now. Okay, so chat. Here's my plan for my Necromunda gang, because for some reason I really want these guys to all be kitted out with the equipment that they actually have. So, well, okay, not exactly. Let me explain. I need a guy with a long rifle. I have a guy in my squad. He's a deacon. So he's actually none of these models. He's one of the religious fanatics, but whatever. But I need a guy with a long rifle. And I have a bit in like one of those extra Cador bit kits you can buy that is a long rifle that is that exact same hand and also that exact same height. And so what I'm thinking I'm gonna do is I'm gonna chop this dude's hand off with this weapon, give him a long rifle, chop his head off, and put this head on there. So he's not exactly a word keeper anymore. He's gonna be one of the champions with a different head. And I think I'm also gonna chop his hand off and give him a hand weapon instead of the gun. And there, bang, there's my dude, there's my leader, or not my leader, my long rifle guy. I wanna do that. Someone tried to tell me this, long rifle, but it's also a candelabra. Someone tried to tell me this while I was assembling these models, but these weapons are not the thing I thought they were. These are auto pulls, but the best item that Cador have are like these poles that are flamethrowers, but they don't come in the actual box that you buy the base squad in. Of course, why would their best weapon be in the kit? They look like this, which this is one of those extra bits that I bought. And so I'm gonna chop off all these guns and put flamethrower bits on them. And probably get rid of, some of them have like ammo coming out of this little area right there. I'll probably get rid of that. Maybe put like a little gas canister there. But yeah, I'm gonna convert these to be the actual weapons that they have. And then lastly, I'm gonna have this guy called the Headhunter for Cador. He's this fucking sick model. It's got candles all over him. He's carrying a big axe. And that's gonna be my new leader, who has a long greatsword. So I'm covered on everybody then. I got the guy with the grenade launching thing, I got the guy with the long rifle, all my dudes got their fucking fire sticks. It's gonna be sick. I'm so excited. Okay, anyways. Who should we paint? Let's paint a bone picker. Don't chop, I'm gonna chop. I'm gonna chop it all off. I guess I could just paint the same guy again, but I would need to buy the box again, and I don't want to do that. Okay. Something that's weird about Necromunda. Actually, I changed my mind. Keep the creative energy flowing. Hey, appreciate that. Appreciate that. I don't know what I'm gonna do with his head or his weapon, but I'm gonna keep them just in case. I have a use for them. What up, Almighty Spurs? When is the brush coffin going to sell to the public? hopefully sometime this weekend or next week. So I am hard at work finishing the very last product that that I need to fulfill the whole campaign, which is my masterclass course. I've actually, maybe one of the reasons why I like Necromunda so much is because I have been editing like straight since January. Like I haven't been doing any hobbying for any YouTube videos since January. And Necromunda is like kind of an escape. It's kind of like a way for me to get some hobbying in, like during this period of time where all I'm doing is editing. Because I was editing Kill Your Friends, which wasn't a painting video, so there's no painting for it. And then now I'm editing all these masterclass courses. And it's taking forever. So yeah, these are a way for me to hobby while I'm not hobbying, and I'm loving it. As they gain experience, you can cut them up again. Yes. Hopefully I won't have to do too much of that. You could say he has a bone to pick. Yes. Okay. We got this guy. He's looking pretty cool. One thing that's kind of confusing about Necromunda is that your bone pickers, your bottom of the barrel, your scummiest scum, those are the guys that are supposed to, throughout a campaign, really grow up to be big boys. Your medium level gangers kind of just stay shitty the entire time. Obviously, you can kit them out however you want, and they do get upgrades. But the bone pickers, the Juves is what they're called throughout every gang, are the ones that really are supposed to develop a narrative and become like the next champion, the next leader of the gang. It's kind of weird. I don't know why they chose to do it that way. What up, Paint Lickers? Since you're best buds with Roman now, are you coming to Golden Demon, Germany in November? No, probably not. Just started reading Horus Rising. Those first 3 chapters, whew! I haven't read it myself, but I've heard good things about the Horus Heresy series. However, it is very long, so there is some bad thing about it. Some bad things about it too that I've heard. Do I like kit bashing models, or do I prefer building models as intended? You know, whatever works. If what I'm jazzed about requires some amount of conversion, then I'm going to convert. If I like the box, then I'll stick with the box. I don't necessarily go out of my way to convert stuff just for the sake of it. But what excites me about the hobby so much is when I've like found some kind of fun narrative that I can live inside of. Like I'll do everything in my power to make everything align to that narrative in my head. Whether that's kit bashing, painting it in a certain way, hacking up painted models, it doesn't matter. I'll do it all. I'll make custom decals, shit like that. I'll find one of the people that I know who can sculpt, make me a custom head, like whatever it is, I'll try to make it work. Okay, we tested out Duncan's 2 thin coats paints. They're fine. Wasn't particularly blown away. Wasn't super sad. They're very usable. Typically when a paint is very usable, I don't really use it that much more because what I have, I'm already familiar with and I'm comfortable with. So let's just keep mixing it up. A long time ago, I used the Chalmath, to paint my novitiates, I used the Vallejo Express paint. And let's try that again, you know, why not? Why not? Actually, fuck it. Let's use AK Interactive paint, because it's been a while since I painted with that paint. And I haven't painted any Cador dudes with it yet. Okay, so we're gonna do a brown base coat. So let's do that. Seems pretty good. Why not more Pro Acryl love? Because I don't have any Pro Acryl paints. I guess I lost them. I thought I had 2 sets. I thought I had the one set when they were still Creature Caster paints, and then another set that was the new stuff, And I know I gave Curtis a box of Prochrome paint. I just can't remember what's in the box. Maybe I gave him both sets, honestly. I don't have any, but if I did, I would try it out. Skip Descent of Angels, book 6. Okay. Some HH books are great. Others are real turds. Trying to be as vague as possible. Have you looked at Forbidden Psalm much? I haven't, you know. I was looking for a board game that was like an RPG experience where you controlled one character and like you leveled it up and geared it up. And I think Forbidden Psalm came up on my radar. And I watched a gameplay video about it. And it seemed very confusing, which is fine. That's totally fine. But it kind of made it feel like it wasn't very polished. And maybe I'm wrong about that, but we went with Jaws of the Lion, and we are very happy we are playing that game. It is a very fun game. Any opinion on the Cuttlefish paints? Now, I haven't got a chance to use them. I saw them when they were first their own thing at Adepticon, but I haven't got a chance to actually try them out myself. They're a thinner paint range then, okay. According to Azathoth. Yeah, a couple paint ranges are like that. The TT Combat guys have a thin paint range. I don't mind it so much, but it definitely has less mileage than a range that's just thicker out of the gate. Teague Like League says, I just ordered the Vincent John set. I am a paint goblin though, and have way more paints than any human has any use for. Yeah, I think a lot of people are in a very similar boat. Thoughts on the new AP range? If not, ignore me. Just happy to finally catch one of your streams. Yeah, that range of paint, the Army Painter Fanatic paint range, I did also use several times actually. The skin tones seemed a little sticky. They were kind of like a little stringy, but like once you thinned it out, then you couldn't really notice it at all. But like, man, other than that, I'm hard pressed to like come up with some kind of feedback about the paint range. Again, they're all very similar. And the reason why that may be the case, now I don't really know this for a fact, but a lot of paints are made in the same factory. They're made by a company in England called HMG. GW makes their paints at HMG. Like all of their iterations. A lot of companies make their paints at HMG. And they're made with CMYK color mixing. And so to get a magenta, they'll mix a yellow medium, and to get a red color, they'll mix a magenta pigment and a yellow pigment and some medium, and they'll get a red. I know Duncan's Two Thin Coats paints is made in the same place as well. Xanderzone, thanks for the sub. And so it stands to reason that if a lot of paints are made at the same place and really just differ on like viscosity of the medium and also what specific colors they're using, they're gonna kind of handle the same way. And so Army Painter, I don't know where they make their paint. People don't really advertise that. Maybe because it's, why would you want to advertise it if everyone makes it at the same place? But if they make it at the same place, it stands to reason that it would deliver on a similar experience. So yeah, there wasn't anything wrong with them. I've never used old Army Painter paint. But this stuff was very usable. And I've heard terrible things about the old paint, like how it's just like, it doesn't have any opacity, is not fun to use. So this stuff was a lot better than that. But again, it wasn't like anything better than what I'm normally used to. Ice Yeti, thanks for the sub. The main set for Cuttlefish is intended to be a glazed paint. What? How would you do that? How would you intend it for it to be a glaze right out of the bottom? Any recommendations on a gaming mat? Corax, you can find game mats like all over the internet. Really kind of just depends on what you want for a setting, whether that's a sci-fi ruined city or something more naturalistic. They have two types, sketch layer thickness and glaze. Okay. So they weren't made with kisses and love? I don't think so. Is it because they're all paints? AP makes their own. They have videos on it. What do you mean by makes their own? The scary thing about different paint brands is that there's a risk that someone gets put off painting because they accidentally, yeah, for sure. It's a good point, Juicy. Xander Zone says that the old AP paints that they were familiar using weren't a great experience. And yeah, I mean, I've never used them personally, but I have heard something similar. They only show the bottling process in the video. Okay. Yeah, if they're showing like mixing pigment into a medium, like they're doing some work. You know, they're figuring out what colors they want to use. They're not using, then it's definitely not made at HMG if they're using physical powder pigments. Korak's also saying the paints was a little lackluster as well. Okay. The pressure is way too high. So AP makes them with kisses and love. Oh no, I lied. They did show a pigment mixing station. So they, okay, cool. God, fucking A, dude. Compressor, dude, just stay up there, my guy, please. Terrified me. Here's me still using my original AP set and loving it. Maybe I should try better paint. Hey man, if you love it, fucking stick with it. Why not? But every once in a while, it's worth trying out new products. Just not to the extent that most hobbyists do, where they just like buy endless paint ranges. But if you want to like read a couple reviews and decide on what range is right for you, or buy a starter set or a couple pots of paint from a different range to try it out, dude, by all means, give it a go. I'm gonna ask Monument Hobbies if they make kisses and love. Buying a Vortex mixer made them functional in my experience. This is in regards to Art Painter Paint. But quality of life has skyrocketed since transitioning to Procro. As someone that's shade blind, the new feature on AP's new line looks amazing. Can you describe what shade blind is? Talking about Ninja, right? No, I don't know. I don't know. It's hard for me to keep up sometimes with the chat. Oh, come to me, other men, other gangers. My wife is asking me, is that okay? Oh no. Was what okay? What happened? Okay. She said, we're eating leftovers today, pizza tomorrow, and we're eating out on Thursday. Is that okay? Yeah, fucking, you better believe it's okay, bro. Fucking pizza? She's buying a Ferrari. I feel like I could eat pizza a lot, you know? I don't ever get to really test my limits in regards to how much I can eat one type of food of, but if there was a food I could eat a lot of, I think it would be pizza. Scott, it's a, no. We're eating out on Thursday for Valentine's Day because we have plans on Wednesday, the actual Valentine's Day. But that, you're right, that could have been a trap. That could have been a trap. Or say, oh no, I was going to grill us steaks. The lines that show the brightness. Okay, okay. That one's on her. Pizza or steak I could eat every day and never get tired of. I don't know if I could eat steak every day like you, but I think pizza. Pizza or like saucy noodle dishes. Does it count as eating something every single day if you get varieties of it? Like if I get like a white pizza one day, or like a meat lover's pizza one day, or like a classic cheese and pepperoni, does that count as eating the same thing? Because I could eat like saucy Japanese noodle dishes every single fucking day in my life. Adam Stevens thinks this up. I love my SC75 paints. Amber doesn't strike me as the set a trap type, at least from my limited experience, and the fact that Scott seems happy. Mozzarella sticks every day. Isn't eating out a poor turn of phrase for Valentine's, or actually, yeah, no, I see what you fucking did there. I see what you did there. Is your Valentine's Day a date at Pizza Hut? I hope so. Yeah, I feel the same way. OSW, Zen, Kiki. I'm comfortable with scale 75 at the moment. It works for my needs. In a lot of ways, so does AK Interactive. It's kind of a go-to for me, but like I don't care. I'll use anything. However, the moment that I notice something is giving me grief, I'm fucking out of there. Because everything is so close in operation, if something is deficient, even in the slightest of ways, like I immediately ditch it. Because why? Why tolerate that when everything is so close in performance? I was about to flex on Scott for being finished with my corpse grinder cult gang, but then I realized his models look like way better than mine. Hey, being done is definitely a measure of quality as well, Mike. I kind of want to see them, Mike. I don't know how. Can you tag me in them on the Discord? By the way, if you're a Twitch subscriber, you have access to my Discord server where we do fun things. Like there is a painting challenge that kind of goes on year round where you get points for what stuff you paint. And there's a little leaderboard, and you get like an emoji next to your name based on how many points you have and what tier you're in. It's good fun. What's that server? Tagged. Okay, nice. I'll check it out, Mike. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. How many minis did the corpse grinder cult end up being? I think if someone types ! sub or subscription, you'll see the information about how to get into Discord. I can't remember what the exact command is. Evan used to type it all the time. Just link your Discord to your Twitch account. Only 7. Their weapons are expensive as fuck. Nice. You should get an invite when you have a sub. Okay. I love how prenup Paul typed in both things and neither of them. Okay, it was subscribe. Okay, thank you. Thank you for someone fucking figuring it out. That's still cool, man. Seven minis is still a decent amount. Wait, I put in the wrong brown, didn't I? This is chipping? Yeah, this is the wrong brown. This is a light brown. I don't want to use this one. Is it the same discard? Yes, same discord across all my platforms. Rock isn't important, it's the most important command. Hilarious. Sigmar is a pretty good one too. All right, so the chipping one is not the one we want. Although I will say it looks quite similar to the leather brown. I think we all know what command is the best command. Fucking wizard, dude. I don't know if we're memeing with the wizard command, but I genuinely believe that is a fucking awfully written rule. But I don't know if everyone's memeing on me. But I mean, like, the first sentence is just ridiculous. It's horrible. Okay, cool. I don't know if this was a make fun of Scott situation or a make fun of AOS situation. Because sometimes I can be a pedant, obviously, you know. Oops, missed my cup. I see it as both. There. Oh, I think I left a bit on this thing right here. Take care of that. Miss Evans, since Amber wouldn't allow you to be my father. How do we get beta test rules to see that volleyball game? Nice, prenup balls in the Discord. I wouldn't mind it if that rule just existed in like a reference somewhere or a glossary, but that is the rule for describing wizards. Chris says, if you were on more during these lovely European hours, I'd get a lot more painting done. This is just cozy. Well, I have some good news for you, Chris. This is the time that I've been streaming for the last year and a half. So more streams to come at this time. And also a decent amount of VODs at the Miniac's Backlog channel on YouTube if you want to check out some VODs. But I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm glad it's cozy. All right. I love that there isn't like a little pilot light for this flamethrower. But it's literally just a candle being held in front of this thing. That is so wild. I love it. When am I gonna cave in the pressure in Discord and do a Gundam? It's like Magic the Gathering. I mean, I don't know. I don't know about Gundams. At some point, when I want to experience like everything the hobby has to offer, and that's definitely something the hobby has to offer. And so at some point, I definitely want to do it. But at the moment, I'm just like hot for mini painting right now. Probably after the BattleTech addiction starts. You guys are too hopeful. Although if I find a model, if I find a couple models for BattleTech that I like, the game is certainly good enough for me to enjoy playing. I love the idea of that dude having to worry about running too fast and the fucking candle blows out, dude. Oh my God. It's like the Magic the Gathering rulebook being crazy intense, but 90% of the players, yeah, and there's like several levels of Magic the Gathering rulebook that you can read as well, right? Maybe I'm wrong. I thought there was like even like 2 versions that had less verbosity. Verbosity? Do it. I caved. I'm having a blast with this kit. Nice. Glad to hear it, Prenup Paul. Glad to hear it. My little brother got me a Gundam kit as a troll, and now I hate how the plastic goblin in my brain won't let me part with it, despite having no desire to build it. This is mine. Teague Like League says, have I ever read the Flesh and Blood comprehensive rules? I have had to refer to it at some times in the past. Like for instance, trying to figure out if like Dominate doesn't allow you to like, can I use a defense card and a defense reaction if a card has Dominate? No, you can't. But looking up rules like that, and yeah, when I have to crack that thing out, it's wild. It is an intense rule book. Mostly it has to do with like timings and stuff like that. Etienne, thank you. I hope you have a great day as well. There's a basic MTG rule book, and then the comprehensive rules nobody reads except judges and Giga Nerd Spikes. Giga Nerds! I got into Guns a while back. I say I enjoy that so much more than 28mm painting. I feel like I have so much more freedom to paint. Yeah, I feel that. I went for the L2 judge certification, so I spent a lot of time reading the fab rules. Oh, okay, cool. Cool. All right, so if I'm being quite honest, this is not like the darkest brown that I would want. I'd want a chocolate, I want a darker, richer brown color. But maybe this won't be so bad because I have to work up to a cream color. And so in doing that, you can't start from that dark of a shadow color, right? So maybe it's not gonna be that bad. What up, Summon Lesser Maker? RG Hanomic, thank you for the sub, appreciate it. My Gundam backlog is over 100 kits? Jesus Christ. Okay, actually, before we do the khaki, we gotta do the green. And now that I am looking at these colors that I have from AK Interactive, I am noticing that I don't have the right green color. There is one green, and I certainly could mix what I need. I don't really want to do that though. Well, you know what? There is a darker chocolatey, well, not really, it's a red. They don't have the color that I just want right now, which is annoying. So I'll just take the 3 colors that this whole scheme is based on and use them from scale 75. Oh, since you are a person of the Midwest, I am moving to Kansas from Houston. Anything I should know about the houses and culture? Do you have basements in Texas? A lot of basements in the Midwest because of tornadoes. Kansas, I've never been to Kansas. I don't know anything more about Kansas specifically. Sometimes spring will fake you out and it's like, haha, it's spring. And then it's like, just kidding. Here's some fucking negative 10-degree weather and also a foot of snow. And that's what's happening right now. It's pretending to be spring right now, but I know, I'm smart enough that I know. Don't get my hopes up. What are some other Midwest things? Nope, no basements. Yeah, there's a lot of basements in, what am I trying to say right now? In the Midwest. What are the 3 colors? The 3 colors that kicked off my Necromunda green all those years ago was Arden Green, Sherwood Green, and Autumn Green. Nice little combo. Kansas is flat and lame, but I'm from a mountain state. I mean, everywhere in the Midwest is flat and lame. You're having false spring in Ohio right now too. Nice. Okay. I need more of those little cups. Oh, hey, check it out. Another sprue thing. Whoa. There we go. There we go. Try living in Canada during the winter. It ends when it wants to. Yeah, honestly, the winter in Minnesota and the Twin Cities is very similar to the winters in the majority of Canada. Unless you're in Winnipeg. If you're in Winnipeg, then your life just sucks. But Minneapolis and St. Paul are at the same, I forget what it is, if it's longitude or latitude, as most of the major cities in Canada. So yeah, our winters are pretty similar. And okay, Guardian. That's a funny name. Thanks for the sub. Good to know about the false spring. I mean, who knows? It's lasting a long time. It has been warm for a significant amount of time. 2 weeks, it's been 30 to 50 degrees Fahrenheit, which is bizarre. Right now, it's February. February and January are typically hellishly, which this is an oxymoron. They're very fucking cold. So I don't know what's going on, but I'm okay with it. I'll take it. It's real spring this time. Here in Ontario, Canada, last week I was in a t-shirt. This week I'll be shoveling snow. So yeah, I hope that doesn't happen to me, but it very well could. Although it only got to minus 40 for a week here this winter, so it's all good. That's fucking cold, bro. That is cold. Holy shit. I don't mind if some of this green gets onto the lower parts of the model. I kind of like it if the khaki is green tinted. Otherwise, the entire bottom half of the model just kind of becomes this brown khaki thing. And it's the model is subdivided. It's the top half is green and the bottom half is neutral colors. And I hate it when models feel subdivided. I'm in Oklahoma. It snowed most of Sunday to Monday morning. Today it's 60. Is it all melting or is it sticking around? I'm so glad my daughter quit doing Girl Scouts. We would be out selling cookies door to door this time of year, and it was miserable. Yeah, dude, that sounds rough. That sounds rough. What up, Nurgle Matthew? The only place I can afford the cookies these days is places with security gates and fences. Gone. Now my yard is a swamp. Ooh, I can kind of feel my airbrush clogging, but not like dry tip. There's a tiny amount of dry tip, but something else is going on inside the nozzle, it feels like. Kind of the one thing that I wish I was more knowledgeable on was just really how to like handle airbrush paint and keep my airbrush like performing at like, I don't know, you know, just like as good as it can perform. If I could like figure out how to like maintain that performance, that'd be awesome. So I feel like even when I fully clean an airbrush and I just start using it, I can tell within like a minute that I am losing fidelity. Because like you can pull back this trigger to a certain point and get very small bursts of paint to come out. And then in like 30 seconds, you'll be like, huh, that same spot no longer works. And I have to go back a little bit further. And then it keeps just getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And it's like, what am I doing wrong here? Yeah, exactly, T-League. It all pops out. Started using Vallejo Airbrush Flow Improver instead of thinner, no drying problems on the model, and zero clogging issues up to this point. That was a game changer. You know, I've heard of that. That was like old school advice that like you would hear from like Kenny Boucher and stuff like on YouTube. So I tried that a very long time ago, and it didn't work for me. And I was kind of surprised to discover that a lot of, sorry, not a lot of, but the flow improver from Vallejo that I was using was actually like thicker. It was like more viscous than say water. And so, I don't know, I kind of was immediately turned off from using it, but you know, we're like 6 years later now at this point. I really should give it a go again because I feel like a lot of people have told me about that idea, and you know, it didn't work for me. But just because it didn't work for me the first time doesn't mean that it won't work for me. You know, if I use it correctly or something like that. All right, nice swampy green color. Why are you painting a trash man? To light you on fire, Dan. That's why. Just posted a test model in Discord that I finished for a Black Templar Army commish. Super happy with how it turned out. Cool. How long did it take? Was it a standard? Is it a standard fig? Zenkiki? Yeah, but I'll let you know. I'll let everyone know if I ever figure that out. Almighty Spaz. Because yeah, I would love to for like an entire session just have my airbrush always be able to pull back to that same location and get the same amount of paint to come out. If there was consistency, my life would be so much easier. I prefer thinner to flow improver if I use any flow improver at all. My drying time is forever. Would humidity in a room make a difference in airbrush spraying? Yeah, probably a little bit, but I don't know if it'd make enough to notice. But I could be wrong with that. People are saying they use a combination of thinner and flow improver. Okay. Flow improver is a surfactant, so it feels heavier than water, but it will break surface tension. Yeah, I think that's kind of why I asked, Kiki. I think it's really important with commissions to keep an eye on how long it's taking you to do an individual guy, because that obviously is like it's a multiplier for how long it's going to take you to do your commission. So if you can shave off 10 minutes on your individual paint job for an army commission, you just save like hours. So it's really important to dial that shit in. I've been doing priming with my first bottle of Sunrise during the stream. Great primer, but I'm running into an exact trigger issue. With primer and like general zenithal undercoating, I don't really care, because largely I'm blasting it through. I'm getting it all over the place. But when I'm like trying to get in somewhere and like shade, like if I want to like shade like this area in between this fabric and like his like, I don't know, skirt kilt thing, jerkin thing, like that line up and down, I should be able to do that with an airbrush. But like I'll do it on one side and it's awesome, and then I'll go to the next side and do that side. It's like, it's kind of a little bit shittier now. And I'll go back here and do it, and kind of it gets worse and worse and worse. And it's like, what's going on here? Sometimes it lasts longer. Sometimes it gets worse faster. It's hard to know. What are the other gangs in my Necromunda campaign? We got, what's the biker gang called? I think Orlocks? We got the biker gang. We got Escher. We got Dan in the chat playing his policemen, which I want to call subjugators, but I don't think they're called that. We got the dwarf dudes. Judge Space Cop, Stan says. We got the dwarves, and then we got the Ash Waste Nomads. So a decent amount of stuff, honestly. I time everything extensively for commissions. I'm like a race car driver trying to shed seconds off. Fuck yeah, dude. That's the way to be. Rolls Royce says, I found Pro-Kill paint to work really smooth through an airbrush, better than some other air paints I've tried. See, that would be killer. If I used a paint range and noticed a difference in how it performed in an airbrush, that would be a reason why I would switch to it wholesale. As long as the painting with a brush was fine. I don't mind adding thinner to paint to use it for an airbrush. I don't mind that at all. But if one range could do all of it, I would be like, you know? You feel me? You feel me on the Anyways. Warhammer? John's running an NPC chaos cult, but I think he's out, right? Because we have 8 now. I do Warhammer. Hell yeah, Froggo. I do Warhammer too. As someone who plays the game, let me tell, those are all the official names for those gangs. Nice. Main Tyranids, very cool. So you're a 40k player? Very nice, very nice. My army for 40k is Dark Eldar, if you can call it an army. It's a small little army. Okay. Let me get this airbrush cleaned out, and then we'll move on to our next green color, Sherlock Green. Okay. Okay. Nailed the Ash Waste Snowman. Yeah, that was like I got that one, and I got my own gang. I think we're playing with most gangs. There's no Delac, there's no corpse grinders, and there's no old men with big sci-fi guns. Those are the 3 that I think we're missing. Although there are a bunch of weird ones too. Hyped to see your collab with Jay. I'm hyped, dude. I'm so hyped to get after it, dude. And have a fully painted 40K army. It's gonna be fucking awesome. Couragean, thanks for the first time Prime sub. Appreciate it. Now I want Scott to go through every gang and tell us what they are without the actual names. No Goliath, no beefy boys. Okay, I thought it would be easier to describe who wasn't in our campaign as opposed to who is, but apparently it's not. I am very excited though to get my my Dark Eldar painted up in that sexy scheme. I have ideas on how to make the paint scheme even faster. What I don't have ideas on is how to have good legs for Cavalite warriors. And again, you know, how many Cavalite warriors is the standard Dark Eldar army run nowadays? I know this changes like endlessly, but what's the current? What is it? 20? 10? Because like if I have to just make like 10 dudes, like I'll convert 10 dudes' legs, like whatever. Cut and resculpt them legs, boy. See, Dan's saying that's what I should do. Like if it's not like you know, an old school Space Marine faction where you have to have like 40 TAC Marines, like whatever. All right, that is. I'm squeezing too hard. I wonder if I have flow improver. I know I have flow medium, but I don't have flow improver. At one point I did. Oh, you know what I should do? Fuck, it's too late. Fuck. I have that weird airbrush paint from Iwata. I don't know what it is, but I bet if there's a paint, here's what it is, Wicked Colors? Yeah. If there was a paint that would work well on an airbrush, it's probably this shit. It's like not normal stuff. I wonder if they say what's in it. Water-based. Optional for automotive, hard surface and plastic. Mixed with 4030 balancing clear, 10% per volume. Like when you see stuff like this on the back of paint packaging, you know you've left the mini painting world. You left it far behind. So I bet this stuff would rock, but it might not be super great for painting with a brush. But I have a couple of sets of it, and maybe I should get it out so I remember next time I paint some gangers. I got a couple sets. Createx. Alamo, thanks for the sub. Greetings from South Tejas. Just get the new Mandrakes and play Kill Team instead. Dude, that whole box is a fucking bit of me. That Kill Team box, I kind of want it. Well, that's the tastiest. Exactly, Tupikins. This is the good stuff right here. This is the tasty stuff. I also have this other weird stuff. More Createx illustration colors. Rich organic colors for creating hyper-realism. Maybe this is like supposed to be like special effects paint because it seems incredibly thin. Like if you look at the bottom of the, you know, you can see them sloshing around in there like water. That's probably not airbrush paint. But yeah, I should try out that range right there. You know? Oftentimes with mini painting, you'll find better products outside of the mini painting world. But anyways, we were talking about flow improver, and I have flow medium from Yosonia. So maybe I give us a little bit of a squirt here. See, try this and some thinner, and see if that makes my life easier. Always clog it. Alex, you know it, brother. You know it. And I feel like I just dealt with it, and now it's clogged again. I feel like that's part of the reason why I'm having airbrush problems. It's because I'm using Scale 75 paint. Probably like a better paint range to use. This paint belongs in an auto shop. I mean, it looks like it belongs. Yeah, I agree. Let's try some flow improver or flow medium. That was a lot. And then a little bit of thinner. That stuff is airbrush. Is for airbrush artists. The Iwata brand, people who you see doing, yeah. Scott in chat, I'm considering an airbrush upgrade. My Posh is doing fine for priming base coating, but it sprays hella wide, regardless of needle size. Whenever I see airbrushing videos and people are able to make fine lines on paper, I just can't reproduce that. Okay, so first of all, gotta make sure. I've seen a lot of people do airbrush tests where they are doing thin lines on paper towel, which is bullshit because that's an absorptive medium. Like, of course, it's gonna look better on a paper towel than on a miniature on a hard plastic surface because it just, it just sucks right into the surface. So I would say if it's paper, they're a little bit different though. But for recommendations, I mean, if money is no object, I'm always going to recommend the Iwata HPBH. If money is some object, then I would say the Iwata HPCS. But there are also Harder and Steenbeck options that are pretty good. That's why you got to airbrush plastic spoons for the ultimate tests. I hate you, Mike Genie. Spaz is saying that scale color needs to be thinned down a lot to airbrush well. That could be true. I've never had any luck with scale 35 in an airbrush. Okay, so maybe the problem is me, Maybe it's me. Okay, that's pretty thin. That's pretty thin. Can't even make those thin lines on paper. Yeah. All right, now we can start focusing on just the shoulders because we don't need this highlight of green is not going to exist on the pants after I'm done with the khaki. So no point in worrying about getting it on the lower parts of the model. The new Harder and Steenbeck had a really interesting tip. The paint is thin enough so when you dip a needle into the paint and the drop of paint immediately falls off the needle when you lift it. So you're saying that I'm kind of confused what you're saying. You're saying that there's so much surface tension on the needle itself that the gravity is enough to not cause any dry tip? Is that what you're saying? There's this special juice that I have. You want to see my juice, chat? And I made a video about this once upon a time. It didn't really go anywhere. But there's this juice that I have. I think actually, Spaz, did you give this to me? Someone gave this to me. This is like a Japanese product, and you are supposed to coat an airbrush with it, and you're supposed to bake it in a low temp oven to cure it. And I didn't have an oven to really use at the time, and so I used like an oven that I turned on and then turned off and let cool a little bit. And now I have a better oven that can actually like heat to like 80 degrees Fahrenheit or 90 degrees Fahrenheit. And maybe I try to coat my needle with this, just the needle. Like I don't have to do the whole airbrush with it, although that obviously be preferred. Just the needle, like 2 or 3 times with this stuff. Maybe that would solve some problems. Maybe I could do this and the thing that goes inside I don't know, I can't remember all the terms. A little bit. Scott using weirdo supplements from the Asian market again. You fucking better believe it, dude. Golden high flow paint is my love affair with airbrush. I got some of those, and in fact, I have some greens. These things, right? This is fluorescent, but these high flow, light fastness poor. I use those for painting keycaps for a keyboard. Tiger penis airbrush juice. Okay, that wasn't from you, Span. Okay. Oh, Scott's a wheezing the juice. Nice reference. Season, that's exactly what it is, the Cuddle Puddle. That is exactly what it is. You are seasoning your airbrush. Get that cast iron shine. Have I done it? I actually have. Thank you for asking. Let me show you a pic. So on these cauterites that I finished over here, I oil washed pretty much all of the khaki and green with burnt umber oil paint from Sennelier. And I thinned it to the point where, like, the moment I touched the model, I was getting beautiful recessed shades. But the problem that I was experiencing, gotta make sure you don't see my fucking nudes. The problem that I was experiencing was that when I would put the bead of oil paint down and I let it sit for a little bit, then this happened. Like, so that stomach area was perfect. It was crispy, and then it was just like the level of, I don't know what the term is, if it's surface tension or whatever it is, but the paint just spread across any surface. It didn't matter if it was a recess or anything. It went crazy. But I put a timer on for 20 minutes, and it probably ended up being 30 minutes. But after 30 minutes, I came back with some makeup sponges, and I cleaned it up, and it looked fucking awesome. It was incredible, actually. So I think in the past, I've just tried to wipe paint off too soon. But if you give it 20, 30 minutes, probably even longer, it's probably a huge window that this works in. It really sticks around in the recesses, and it looks really good. Let me see if I can pull up the same guy so we can get a side-by-side here. Like, look at that. Obviously, I did a little bit of highlighting also on the abdomen, but I was really impressed. Look at the rope on his neck. Like, there's brown paint in between the rope and the green thing, and I didn't paint that in. That's all oil wash. So I'm trying to figure out how to make oil paint just stay where I put it. I tried to add more paint to it so it was like heavier and thicker, but that didn't really work. But yeah, I am experimenting with oil paints. Long way of saying that. And having some mild success and some failure. You should expect to have to clean up some oil bleeding regardless. Oil paints and washes are an absolute hack as a commission painter. Yeah, I believe it. All right, so you might not be able to see this, but if I can like see a little bit of glossiness with the slightest pullback of the airbrush, then I know I'm in a good place. Okay, let's hit up. You may have thinned it. Yeah, I thought that as well, but then I just tried to make it thicker and it didn't seem to make much of a difference. I will say that pure burnt umber wasn't dark enough for a recess shade. I'm probably gonna add a little bit of lamp black next time. I always forget that the preset for this camera is too dark. It needs to go up 1 or 2 steps in exposure. Oh boy. Oh boy. All right, we're gonna lose visuals shortly. Trying to get the remote from my cell phone. No. Will work. Scott's practicing for his 3 airbrush style painting attacks. 3 airbrush style painting attacks. What do you mean? I am confused. All right. One in each hand, one in the teeth. Yeah, okay. The green! Haikyuu hasn't drawn Scott deeply enough into the weeb life. You know, if I'm being totally honest, I only watched one episode of Haikyuu. Mostly because my wife wasn't interested in watching more of it. And I just don't like watch a lot of TV shows by myself. But she has less tolerance for doing things that she doesn't want to do. Which is fine. So maybe I'll just watch a season of it back to back just because I just want to see how I feel about anime after I watch a full season of it. Because I feel like you owe it to a show to give it at least one season to try to really capture you. Such a feel-good show. Level up that tongue game, airbrush with your mouth. Oh, a little bit of that, a little bit of that. Okay, so now we're getting some chunkage on that needle right there. That is chunkage level 10 right there. Maybe level 8. I have a toothbrush that it's just like wetted with isopropyl. That just makes very short work of that. And now if I look at my cutting mat again, now I'm getting that tiny little dot right there. That's what I want to see. But instantly, the end of the needle is coated in green paint. So I feel like if I use that weird Japanese sauce, maybe it'll work. I don't know. The first time I tried it, it didn't work very well. But again, I didn't cure it correctly. I watched Terminator 2 for the first time this weekend. And I also rewatched Conan. I didn't really rewatch Conan. My friend watched it while I fell asleep hopelessly. Sucks being an old man. Yeah, I watched Terminator 2 for the first time. Ooh, that's some nice airbrush shading right there, goddamn. T2 for the first time indeed. Okay. I'm loving how the green on the shoulder wraps down into that darker green, where he's like has this large hood thing covering everything up. I think that is awesome. And then furthermore, I had that bright green highlight on the shoulders and it's catching on that bottom edge. I don't know what magic I did to make that work for me, but let me just blast some more airbrush paint to ruin it potentially. This one really worked out. I feel like the other one on the back did not work out that well. Yeah, there isn't this nice shade right under the shoulder. And then same with the front. I kind of want it a little heavier in the front. Okay. What were your thoughts on T2 being your first time? Incredible visual effects that stand up to this day. Super awesome motorcycle and vehicle stunts and just fun action. Just fun action. I think the one thing that was like, if I had to critique the movie, I gave it 4 out of 5 stars, which might have been a little bit high for what I'm about to say. But like there was just like the team building phase of the movie was very long. Like getting all the gang together, Just took a long time. It took like half the runtime of the movie. And it's not a short movie. And then like, they kept doing the exact same narrative thing. It was like, human wants to do something irrational and go back into the city to get caught by the T-1000. Terminator is like, don't do that, it's dumb, but I have to follow you if you go. And the human's like, I'm gonna go. And then it's like, okay, now the Terminators get to fight. And it happened like 3 times. It was like, surely there's like a different reason why we can like force a conflict here, as opposed to just leaning on that like repeatedly. So that got a little bit kludgy. But otherwise, it was a very fun movie to watch. Liquid metal Terminator, I rest my case. You use mixing cups for your airbrush. I have some silicone ones, and if I screw up a mix and it dries too fast, I pour it back into the cup and add some flow improver, and then I used to use the cups. At the moment, I don't have any. I ran out. So I'm just using these like blisters that I have chopped up. Pretty fair assessment. Okay, yeah. But I think there were 3 moments where the human was like, I'm gonna go back. And Arnold was like, don't do that. And they're like, I'm gonna do it anyways. And he was like, okay. I think that happened 3 times in the movie. And I was just like, okay, this is weird. But if it means more fighting, I'm all for it. Great movie to watch, yeah. The B movie is better. B movie is the standard, okay, guys? If you use silicone ones, the silicone ones. Okay. Heart shape, so you can pour out of the tip. I like that. I like that a lot. Just don't watch any of the other Terminator movies, except the most recent one. Yeah, I've seen Terminator 1. That one was pretty good too. Okay. That's a solid recommendation there, Rufus. Silicone cups. Because what I've seen other people do with oil paints as well, that I think is a solid idea, is putting like tin foil over it, so that as soon as you're done, you just take the tin foil off, and then like you have a clean cup. And the tin foil just conforms to the surface. Yeah, the metal ones are also a great idea, just because put some acetone in that shit. Clean. The acrylic paints wipe out with paper. Yeah, exactly. I just use plastic shot glasses, get 100 for $5. Yeah, there you go. That's nice. You know, if I was a hobbyist, I would probably just do that too. But as a YouTuber, people yell at me for doing things that aren't good for the environment. No, I'm just kidding. I think it's good to reduce waste any way you can. But I understand wanting to keep it convenient as well. You know, I see both sides. I made the mistake of leaving an enamel wash in one. That's F for good. We'll yell at you no matter what you do. All right. The last green, autumn green, or I think it's called spring green now. They just changed the name on us because they're like, actually, you know what? Autumn isn't green that much. Spring is. I thought you only use aluminum foil for tinfoil hats. It also works for that. If you're mixing paint and drinking the paint out of the paint cups at the end, it's technically reusing the cups. That's true. If you're doing that, stick with the shot glasses. Anyone know of a good place to get bases? I like my bases, but however, I prefer rocks, glues, and minor paint instead of having to paint the whole dang thing. I would recommend Cobalt Keep, just because they have that magnet well built into the base already. They come in a variety of shapes and sizes. The magnet, it holds the magnet level with the bottom of the base, so you get maximum magnetic strength. But full disclosure, they've sponsored videos for me in the past, and I've gotten their product for free. Obviously, they're not sponsoring me to say this right now, but I have a lot of my armies on Cobalt Keep bases, so I'd recommend those. It's fall green now. Okay, thank you, Clarkatron. I like those silicone bubble wrap pop things you get at the dollar store for a dry pellet. Yeah, I've heard people talking about those. Ooh, that just pooped out quite the chunk there. I don't know about that. I'm gonna shake that for a bit longer. Sick joke, Rufus. Can we expect any old world vids in the future? It seems like you sat out the return of the golden age of Warhammer. You know, Roger Wilco, you definitely can expect some videos from me. I am a terrible YouTuber in the sense that I am very bad at jumping on trends. Like, first of all, I don't have a relationship with GW, so I don't get the product ahead of time. But second of all, I got a lot of shit going on that I have to try to deal with in a timely manner. But I would love to make a video where I just take my whole Wood Elf army and make it playable for Old World, which I think that'd be a fucking awesome big ass video. That'd be a lot of fun. I am gonna put my Wood Elves that I put on circle bases back on the bases that are valid for Fantasy, like 8th edition, because I would love to play both Old World and Fantasy, and it's easy enough to adapt a base for Old World, but it's much harder to do the reverse. Speaking of Old World, I actually, when I was going to paint Necromunda minis at my friend's house this past weekend, I knew there was a guy there who was super jazzed about Old World, and so I brought some of my Wood Elves. So I got him right here. Look at that. I put this dingus on a circle base. I'll have to put him back on I think a 25 is what he would be on for Fantasy. Is there no way to repair that relationship with GW? I don't know, you know? I'm not desperate. I don't need it. I don't know. I could reach out to them probably. I mean, I have people's emails and stuff, but not too worried about it at the moment. Also, you know, it's hard to deny being a little bit salty, you know? Hard to deny that. Well, there's a Way Watcher Lord. I surely have already said this before, but I was at the source reading the rule book for the Forces of Good, and I was just reading the items that Wood Elves could take. I'm like, oh my God, I know all of these items, and it makes me so happy. I painted these 5 years ago, 6 years ago, 7 years ago. All right, bonus points to anyone in chat who can tell me the name of this guy when this model was first released. He is generic now, but he used to be a named Wood Elf character. He's about to get a lightsaber in his head. Fred. Ugu Pugu. Yeah, Dan's like, I got this. I asked Dan the same question. I can't even remember his name. Tree Humparion? How fucking dare you? Are you making fun of my what else? The Mandalorian. Why hate and fight when we should kiss and love? I agree, professional paint licker. We should all kiss and love more. All right. I don't really know if the flow medium did anything. Actually, you know what? It was kind of fine. Let's put some more in. The brighter we get in color, we're probably gonna have to deal with more of that dry tip and clogging issues. So might as well thin it even more. Groot, Orion, Daith. Daith's a good guess. Saucy Elf Boy? You gonna pretend that dude ain't fucking a tree? Yes. Please. Bob. Aeroloth. Is it Aeroloth? What's the name? What's the name, Dan? Do you find the thinner works best for scale 75 paint, or it doesn't really matter? You know, I was sent for free this thinner, and I was also sent for free the AK Interactive thinner. And before that, I bought the Vallejo thinner, and I have just swapped them out interchangeably. When I was done with one, I moved to the other, and I have not noticed a single bit of difference in any paint range that I use. So I would say you don't need the scale 75 thinner for their paint. Or maybe I'm just obtuse. I don't notice anything, you know? Is it Ska the Falconer? The Landor? Rufus got it. Aeroloth, that's his name. Nice. Bonus points for you. So we should all expect unexpected. So we should all kiss unexpectedly. Unexpected Fort Wapple escalators. Okay, I don't know what you're saying, but maybe I disagree. Is that clear liquid thinner or water? This is thinner from AK. This is a bottle of isopropyl alcohol, and then this is a bottle of water. I have them all. All right, so I thinned this bright color quite a bit. All right, let's just, again, test it. Oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah, baby. The thing I put in was Flow Medium from Yosonia, not Flow Improver. I don't know if it's doing anything. We're just trying it out. Redan, thank you for this up. Appreciate it. I should proofread more. Hello from Scranton, Pennsylvania. What up, Dunder Mifflin? Do you have any plans in the future to take classes on the road? I know you do some at larger cons, but they are always so far away from me. Side note, I love the cutting mat I ordered from your page. Hell yeah, Crayon. I just started listing old Wood Elf heroes. Rude. No plans to take the paint class on the road, but maybe in 2024, you know? 2024 is gonna be a good year for Scott the Miniature Maniac. And so I would not mind doing some paint classes on the road, you know? But no, not at the moment, to be honest. Mike is just fucking being savage right now to my Wood Elves. Maybe we should airbrush on camera. And also, in focus, please, camera. The fuck? There we go. Star Wars geek. I second. I'm gonna need you at ReaperCon this year. I would say do a class in Columbus, Ohio, but there is a good reason to come to Columbus, Ohio, and that is Vince lives in Ohio. I meant underneath Fort Wapple's escalators that we should all kiss. Thank you for proofreading and letting us know. Classes on the road, so you are coming to Germany and class with Roman together. I would love to do that, you know? I would love to do that. Do we have any mods in the chat? All right, I'm gonna put a poll out. I'm assuming the majority of you have seen my Wood Elf miniatures, but maybe you haven't. I'm gonna guess that a lot of you have. Oh shit, the thing I type in is on the other screen where the keyboard is not. Hold on, I have a wireless keyboard here. I'm curious if you guys were to take a class from me, which Wood Elf model you'd prefer the class to be based on. The Witch, the Ranger, or the Warrior. I'm not a mod, but I'm a very important person according to Twitch. Origins is in Columbus. Okay, nice. Are you excited for the Phantom Menace back in theaters? Probably not. Like I don't need to see that in theaters. Well, maybe I am. Fucking go see Duel of Fates. All right, slash poll. I don't know how to do this. Is it commas? Ranger, Warrior, Witch. Okay, so which model would you prefer an in-person class, in-person painting class, use? No, we'll get rid of painting. To use. Ranger, let's keep the branding in there. The Ranger, the Warrior, the Witch. Oh, let's just do this. 3 minutes seems like a long time. Let's just do 2 minutes. Start poll. Okay, if you were to take a Miniac class, which one of the new Wood Elf models, which are about to become available for purchase, probably in a week, would you prefer the class based on? The Ranger, who's crouching with his decapitated head and his big antlers and his just evil smirk. The Witch, who's sucking life force out of this poor, helpless imp babe, or the crazed Warrior who collects imp babes' heads and is licking his blade and all that shit. What would you prefer? Star Wars Geek. The Star Wars Geek says no. Once was good enough. I love it. People who unironically, my cursor is getting in the fucking way. People who unironically got excited about that movie scare me. There's a person whose head I cannot get inside of. Please keyboard, okay. Being new to this world, I prefer, they're all Wood Elves. Barros, V1, every single one of them is a Wood Elf. I'm a Wood Elf fanboy, and so I made a bunch of Wood Elves. The Archer, sorry, okay, cool. Cool. Okay, man, this blows. All right, guys, I'm tired of fucking with Twitch. I can't expand the poll to see what's winning, so you'll have to just let me know what's winning. I think the Warrior is the best clean canvas for a painting class. Sorry, I'm 54 and saw the original films when I was 7 to 12, and I just can't find anything to like about the prequels or the sequels. I mean, just watch the sequels, and then you'll have something to like about the prequels. didn't even hear play any blood fields. Which so far is winning. If I had to pick, I'm gonna pick vampires. The prequels are objectively worse than the original movies. The poll ended, I made it for 7 minutes, or for 2 minutes. All right, The Witch won with 7 votes. Sick. Science. That wasn't a real poll. We'll have a real poll at some point. Which model do you like to paint and show your process? I think that's important. I mean, I think my favorite is the one that started it all, which is the Ranger. He's the one I painted for my class. But I do agree with some of the comments being shared, though, that the Warrior has the cleanest canvas for, say, working on blending, like on all those nice abs. The one problem with the Warrior, however, is that his head is not separate from his body. And so it's kind of challenging to paint his head. You have to paint it first, because then you can chuck up on the model and you're not fucking up a bunch of painted stuff. So if you paint the head first, then you can kind of like grip the model a lot and have no fear that you're going to mess up your paint. The poll was literally less than 5 seconds. Yeah, I don't know what that was about. I picked 2 minutes. My bad. I don't know how to use Twitch, guys. Come on. Nice. I can feel the chunk occurring. I'm losing accuracy. This is what I didn't do yet. I think Disney shows are doing things right in the Star Wars universe. Mandalorian, Andor, and Ahsoka were amazingly done. Yeah, they're pretty good. I enjoyed them all. When did we recently see an announcement for season 2 of Andor, or has that been a thing for a while? I saw a thing on my Facebook feed. Oops. Andor just finished filming. Okay, cool. So I'm about to buy an ultrasonic cleaner. Anyone think it's worth? I clean my airbrush with it, and it's great. Okay. That green's looking spicy. That's some green-ass green. You call it green-ass green, I call it spicy. But yeah, I think we agree. Chat, let me show you something else I've been working on. You might have caught this already if you were, if you are on Instagram and look at my Instagram stories. Oh wait, I need to change. Oh God! It's just a cardboard box. There's nothing in it. Okay, thank God. Jesus. Guac green, dude. All right, let me change the camera here. Face. All right, and I'm gone. Okay. Because the wood elves are coming out so soon here, taking you on a journey, chat. Me and Amber have been, while we like watch a TV show in the evening or something, we have been assembling boxes for the various wood elves. And then when we finish a couple totes worth, then I bring them over here and get them assembled. Or sorry, not get them assembled, but stack them up neatly. So I figure that since the gaming table isn't being used, this is a much nicer place to work on shipping stuff than in that room, which is a little cramped at the moment. And then over here, and this big stack of boxes, there's a bunch of wood elves in there. So yeah, holy brightness. Okay. It's exciting. I'm so excited to be a YouTuber again, a normal YouTuber. Oh, wee! I feel like if you tear down your brush at the end of your sesh, flush the body, and soak the smaller parts, you'll never need an ultrasonic cleaner, and no pulling the needle out the back of the brush unless that's the only way you can. How do you soak the smaller parts if you're not pulling the needle out? As far as I'm concerned, that's like one of the first things that comes out if you're gonna do any kind of deep clean. Do you just put your whole airbrush in like liquid, like in isopropyl alcohol? Oops, skip. Are those chocolates? Damn, I like that gaming table. Is this MTV Cribs? Basically. I'll trade you a shipping table for a gaming table, you know, just to help out. Normal is a strong word. Orc Boss got his already. Nice. Love hearing that. All right, let's paint some khaki. I wonder if I can just go straight to khaki, because I feel like a lot of the green is pretty bright. And I feel like if I actually use like a normal khaki progression, I'll actually step down in brightness first, which would get awkward. Do I want to get awkward? I don't know if I mind getting a little awkward. There's no good light colored brown. Let's just try this. All right, the color I'm going to use is called Light Earth, which is like a khaki color, but it's a little bit darker, a little bit browner. Go back to the paint cam. Needle should always come out the front unless the design prevents it, and in that case, it's a design flaw. I mean, you're basically saying that every single airbrush is designed erroneously, other than harder and Miniac. Am I wrong about that? I'm pretty sure every single airbrush needle comes out of the back, other than that design. Uncle Adam mentioned he never takes his airbrush out of liquid, that way the paint never dries. Yeah, that's fair. Ultrasonic cleaners are so cheap, it makes no sense to not have one. I've heard some mention of ultrasonic cleaners potentially eroding the chrome plating on your airbrush, or eroding like the non-metal components of the airbrush. I've never known if that's been true, or it's just hobbyists that don't like ultrasonic cleaners in progress in general. So I don't know. I don't fucking know. What do I know? what are you talking about? Just just cleaning airbrushes in general. About pulling. You pull the needle out. Do you use a compressor? Sorry, do you use an ultrasonic cleaner? I'm an airbrush noob, but what does it matter if you pull the needle from the front to the back? The general consensus, or not the consensus, but the fear is that you're going to pull paint that is on your needle. Like you're pulling it through the thing that has paint in it, right? So if paint's in here and you pull the needle out through the back, the fear is that you're going to put paint inside the body of the airbrush, which is problematic because it's hard to clean. But there is a needle seal in here that should clean the needle as it comes out. I mean, it doesn't always do the best job, maybe not tight enough. So that's the reason why you wouldn't want to pull it out the back. But Iwata's airbrush design is such that there is a spring in here allowing you to pull the needle back, I don't know, like 5 to 7 mil. So some amount of that is happening, and that is by design. So who's to say that that's wrong, that's right? According to them, it's okay to a certain degree? I don't know. Probably the setting in the ultrasonic cleaner mess it up. Ultrasonic cleaners will only nuke cheaper airbrushes with nickel finishes. They can't do anything to triple chrome. How do you know that Harder and Steenbeck triple chrome plates their airbrushes? They made a video about that? Brigandige says, take the nozzle and cone off the front, then loosen that needle nut at the back, then push the needle out the front. Have you never tried this before? No, I haven't. And now that you're explaining it out loud, it seems pretty obvious. But also, I have to disassemble the whole front of the airbrush to do that, which is why I guess people like Harder and Steenbeck, because it's toolless. Man, I don't know if I'd want to do that. Is that an airbrush best practice? Do I have to disassemble the whole front assembly to pull the needle out? I guess that makes sense. They mentioned in the video, yeah, okay, damn. But shouldn't you be lubing your airbrush after fully cleaning it? Yeah, that's generally what people want you to do. Ultra and Silver line uses nickel, okay. No! Once the narrow part of the needle passes behind the seal, the paint will backflow into the trigger area and make a much bigger mess. I think you're only pulling the needle out once you've cleaned the vessel. You're not pulling it out while there's still paint in there. Badger airbrushes have an O-ring. Oh yeah, if you have that like Badger nub on the end, this one doesn't have it obviously, then you're gonna be a sad person. Okay, let's grab that khaki color, Light Earth. Okay, well I'll try that this time then. I will try to disassemble the front and pull it out. And maybe I'll just have a little glass container that has a lid on it. Maybe I'll just put the small bits in acetone and just store them in there. Why not? This is why whacking the whole thing in an ultrasonic cleaner at the end of a session is perfect. It gets rid of all the accumulated gunk. But it can't though, Ozpete, because there are things inside of this front assembly that will never lose their gunk because it's literally trapped inside here. Like the most important thing, which I can't really show you at the moment, is that little, sometimes it's brass, sometimes it's steel, that little assembly that kind of centers the airbrush at the front of the airbrush. If that has stuff inside of it, an ultrasonic will never get rid of that stuff. So at some point you probably need to clean it out, unless you're I don't know. I don't know how you would avoid that. Been doing it for a decade. Okay, I mean, that's also an important thing to keep in mind. Like, sure, what I'm saying might be reasonable, but if it never affects you, then it never affects you. But Ozzy Pete, how could it? How could stuff get out of there? You feel me, dog? You feel me? It's like it is literally formed a vacuum, so it stays inside of there, almost. So how could it get out, you know? Maybe you do it every single day, there never is any gunk, and it's always liquid, it's always paint liquid, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Appa Omega, I believe, I guess you could do that if you wanted to, but generally speaking, the airbrush is detached from the hose, and you just put the whole thing in there. So there's no compressed air running through it. This guy thinks that I clean my studio every single day. Yeah, and then you have people like Svenning, who said that ultrasonic cleaners slowly tear your O-rings apart. Does it? According to Oz PD, he's been doing it for 10 years, and he's fine. You know, the problem is that certain airbrushes will have no problem, and certain ones will have problems if you do that. So, who knows? Goodbye, phone. I have never replaced an O-ring in an airbrush. I replace the needle chuck and the needle itself all the time, which is why I have like a ton of these in stock. These little needle chucks, and then a bunch of needles. But I've never replaced an O-ring. Honestly, I don't even know where the O-ring is on my airbrush. I don't even know. I'm a fool. Has a drawer of airbrushes. I don't use them. I use just the one, and I keep it clean and usable. Learn from scuba diving, keep the air flowing on the brush when you turn the pressure on, and your O-rings will take less damage. Take one off your hands. That's looking pretty good. I think the main concern for the O-ring is people who use chemicals that degrade plastics to clean. Oh, fuck. Don't mind me. I'm just gonna blast a bright ass color right where that lovely shadow was. Fuck me, man. God damn it. I really struggle with like knowing where the paint is gonna end up based on where I'm pointing the airbrush. Like I fuck that up constantly. What up? Thank you for the raid. My battery's gonna die? Probably shot of the face. Airbrush drawer giveaway went. The whole giveaway? Did we come in at a bad time? Definitely not. No, now is a great time. We got about an hour left in the stream. Dude, no time is a bad time for a raid. I love it. Thank you. I appreciate it. What are you guys working on? We need that forearm laser sight, dude. Must be your O-ring. On a scale of 0 to Scott covering his model in fast curing resin, we're at about 2 here. You finished your first mini, dude? What'd you finish? Probably wasn't your first mini. What'd you finish, though? That's awesome. Congratulations. Even if it wasn't your first. I'm hitting up the whole bottom half of the model pretty much with this paint because I know I'm going to use that really sexy Vallejo Express paint to do a lot of my ropes. Scott is dodging the question. What am I dodging? What up, coronary jump? We have opinions about airbrush maintenance. Oh yeah. The lion. Oh, that's a fucking, okay. Isn't it actually your first model though? Because if so, that is quite the model to paint for your first mini. Woo, that was pretty accurate. I almost got like no overspray on that green. That's pretty good. Oh man. Why do you gotta do this to me? Why do you gotta fucking come in and spam and shit? Oh, I do need more mods, Mike, you're right. It's fucking assholes like this. Fucking A. What express paint do I use for ropes? It's called Black Lotus. Twatch. All right. Can I just do... Fuck off. Cool. Get banned. Yeah, Green Mountain. I was using the Black Lotus, which was like this really lovely dark black blue color, which worked really well with a lot of like the warm tones that I had. That's true, Barros. Okay. Fuck me. In the way. Now, what's the name of your Cador gang? It's called Faith Over Flesh. Saying Necromunda always makes me want to say Cowabunga. That's the question: is how do you pronounce the word Necromunda? Is it Munda or Munda? Cowabunga? Necromunga? I feel that though. Michelangelo's new battle cry. It's not Cowabunga. Necromunda! Oh, I totally blasted this part. All right, did we get all the ropes other than the one on his green shawl? Yeah, we're looking pretty good. We're looking pretty good. How long is a game? Well, me and Dan's first game was literally 5 hours long. But we also really never played before, so I don't know, it should be faster than that. I guess it's probably scenario dependent. Because some scenarios are gonna have you go until you bottle out, and some will have you go until a certain criteria is met. So I think it kind of depends on that. Please don't ruin it like aluminium. You must be British. 2 airbrushes connected by a rope to use as nunchucks. How long is the average Necromunda game when you're not scamming with smoke grenades? Hey, it worked, okay? It worked. I would say the mun part is pronounced like done. Necromunda. Okay, okay. I'm literally writing my list somehow includes smoke grenades. It works, you know. It like creates terrain that you can move through effectively, as long as you don't like scatter ridiculously. But it's helpful. It's very helpful. Is there a noticeable difference when using different cap covers for an airbrush? You mean like the thing that goes on top of this? Because whenever I've used these things that go on top of this, it just totally makes my airbrush not usable, because it just like makes like some kind of vacuum or makes the air not flow correctly. But whenever I put that on, my airbrush ceases to work. So I don't use any of them. But you mean like, unless you mean like this thing. Do you, Scott, or anyone else in chat use the trigger limiter on the airbrush? No, definitely. That's just annoying. Ah! I have to remember to kind of like sneak into where I want to paint instead of just kind of guessing where I should be. Okay, we're feeling pretty good about airbrushing right now. Last time off stream, I did a little bit of shading with brown. So I like squirted some brown in certain areas to get a little bit stronger of a shade. Because it's hard to maintain the right level of shading with an airbrush if you're going shadow to highlight. And I think I'll do that now. I need that. I need a laser point, dude. I do. The crown cap. No, I don't really notice anything different about different profiles, and I kind of just remove them anyways, just because the amount of times that I have to do this would make it super annoying. I have to clean it very often. So I'd rather just not ever have to deal with that. But of course, you run the risk of then bending your needle, which might say something about why I have so many extra on hand. So, you know, your mileage may vary. Why don't you use silly putty to cover the painted part? I don't know. It seems like it'll take longer to do that, and it's very easy to solve a problem like that. A little bit of overspray. Maybe there's like a really easy way just to use silly putty, but it might get in the way of the khaki that's super nearby. I could try it out. It'd probably be okay, honestly. Good morning, Dom's Minis. I have to repair my airbrush. I took it apart the other day to clean it. When I went to put it back together again, the brass threads for the headpiece were crossed. Ooh. Yeah, that's not fun. I need some sort of laser sight or something whenever I use an airbrush. Try to spray a torso, end up hitting the cat. I mean, yeah, that literally just happened to me. Yeah, I struggle with that sometimes. How's the game design research coming along? Since last I talked about it, no progress has been made. I haven't read any more books. I actually bought a book to read. I got one for Christmas, and it was about video game design, and it was very in-depth about video games. And I was like, whoops, that's wrong. But no, I probably can stop reading books now and just start getting to it. But I haven't made any progress yet. Or more progress than the last time I spoke about it on Twitch. Just do it. Need a bottom siphon with the scope on the top. Yeah, you know, you're right. I have to just do it. So many opportunities in life are literally just waiting for you, dear viewer, and me, just to reach out and grab it, you know? And I'm not trying to like suggest anything about manifest destiny or being a conqueror, but like you really miss out at any opportunity you're not willing to attempt. That goes for so many things in life. All right. What I need for what I'm about to do, which is shading the khaki, is an acrylic ink. And I actually found one. I found the new Vallejo Game Color sepia ink, but it really didn't act like an ink. Inks, in my experience, really are really good at not causing tip dry on an airbrush. And when I used that particular ink, it caused a lot of problems. Kind of, you know, like when you use a wash or when you use like an express color or a contrast paint in an airbrush, it causes all sorts of problems. But an ink shouldn't cause problems. I use this one, the sepia ink from Game Color. Michael Scott. So you're saying you're gonna enter Golden Demon after all? Yesterday, you said today. Yeah. Travel Cedric, are you talking about paint that's drying right here? Right there? Because I also have issues with that spot as well. One of these days, I'm gonna get a quick disconnect that isn't a fucking heap. Yeah, I also have issues right there. All right, let's try a different ink. Green Stuff World sent me a box of inks forever ago, and those were trash. They had the exact same problem I'm describing, where it gunked up my airbrush like I expect an acrylic paint to do, but it just did it like instantaneously. I have these Ammo by MIG shaders, and they seem to be kind of what I want. But they don't explicitly say they're an ink, though. Night blue. Okay, I got grime and I got dirt. Oh, paint names, man. I love paint names. But this could do it. This might do it. What is good, Sir Blame? Let's see if I have one of those fucking old school GW paints. Those ones were fucking banging, dude. Those ones seem to work exactly how I want them to work. And I do have a chestnut ink, but chestnut ink is pretty red. Fuck it. But I shouldn't use this because I'm never gonna have that ever again. I'm gonna run out of that eventually and have no solution. So we'll try the shader. Dirt. Outside of actual green stuff, which is hard to screw up, I've yet to buy a GSW product that wasn't terrible. Grime, dirt, and wizard butt. Painting companies trying to avoid actual name colors is the funniest shit ever. Yeah, it's goofy. They're goofy. All right. All right, this stuff is pretty thin. I'm gonna turn my pressure down a little bit to adjust for that thinness. All right, so now what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to get larger areas of shading. And so I'm gonna try to get some shading in between his like crotch skirt thing and his other skirt thing. It smells like GW ink. That's what it smells like. Brown, nah, dude, this is wet earth crust of the planet of Ball. Okay, it's so thin that I'm not seeing where I'm applying it until I've built it up too much to the point where it's all over the place. And by thin, I mean the opacity of it is so low that is happening. So, while it doesn't seem to be causing any dry tip, it's not super useful for airbrushing if I can't see where I'm applying it until I've applied a fuckload of it. So we'll give up on that. But I bet with a paintbrush, that'd be super subtle and good. Man, it smells just like GW inks used to smell. Just like it. Okay, let's use that chestnut ink. Fuck it. Let's see what we get. Oh, baby, baby. Look at that hex pot. Not a hex pot, but one of the older ones. Oh yeah, there's that smell. Oh. All right, I'm just gonna put a little bit in. I'm gonna take some off the top and just mix it with thinner that is already in my paintbrush. Ah! Okay, none came out. We're chill. Okay. Carisha! Thanks for the prompt tab. By far the best smelling paint is Vallejo. They smell like bubble gum? Okay, you see how we're kind of developing some shading along this tabard? Nice. Okay, once we pare that down with some highlighting, it'll look good. Woo! One thing that really helps with glossy paints is a nice matte surface to stick down onto. I really like the smell of Scale 75 Artist. I think I've smelled that before. Blues Minis. Thanks for the sub. No, you may not have one of my needles, Evan. Six months in a row, and this is only the 5th actual stream I've caught. I need to use this website more. I appreciate the support either way. Good cleaning is the key to keeping a working machine for a long time. I believe it. Nice, got some shading there in the armpit region. Oh. Is that gonna kill my camera? Come on, bro. Let the camera work still. Thank you. Jesus fucking Christ. Something's clogging up the brush. Although it isn't happening as fast as if I were using... Woo! Okay, this guy's just covered. All right. I'm feeling pretty good about that. What time is it? 3:41? Okay. Do I prefer NMM or TMM? It really depends on what I'm doing. But with TMM, I prefer that for my gaming models. NMM, I prefer that for my display models. Oh, Farman from Minneapolis. I am excruciatingly close to Minneapolis. Minneapolis and St. Paul. My office is in St. Paul. Yeah, I'm close to both. Where are they doing nationals? What store? Or what location? All right, don't need to do any more of that. Chestnut ink, the God, still works. What is with the music? It is a lo-fi, royalty-free playlist on Spotify. I can't even hear it if I'm being quite honest. Then, oh wow, okay, you're at the convention center. Nice, okay, serious. Cleaner recipe, 99% isopropyl alcohol. Nothing too special. Something is clogging my airbrush. Well, no, it's working. Okay. I gotta go pretend to work. All right, see you, Tom's Minis. You're very welcome, my friend. Have a good time at work. Love that shoulder. We all do. Is there a way I can play with the base Blitz box for Levia? Is there a only pre-con tournament? I actually got to play Flesh and Blood last weekend. It's been a while. Game still rocks. Okay, let's do some acrylic paintbrush work. Let's do some we'll use that Black Lotus paint to paint out some of these straps. All right, let me mute myself real quick while I decompress my compressor. Is that what we call it? Dude, Immortal Chaos. It's so funny that you mentioned that because we talked about that earlier in the stream. It's right here, that coating. It didn't really seem to work for me, but I also didn't have the right tools to cure it. I needed a low temp oven, and I didn't have the right oven for it. But now I do, and I kind of want to try it again on just the needle and also the needle chuck, just to see if it'll make a difference. But yeah, I got it right here. Barros is asking what I'm doing with the jiggling of the needle, which I think he's referring, or he or she's referring to this. It's a built-in thing with Iwata. There's a spring in here that allows you to do this. And I believe, someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the reason is to tease the needle back into the cup, back and forth. And there's often paint that gets deposited like right, there's like an in-between area in between this cup and where the needle seal is. And there's paint that gets stuck there and it's impossible to get out. But it's a very tiny area. And if you put liquid in your cup and you do this at the same time, it teases that paint out. And so I tend to just do that until I no longer see paint like dying cleaner in here, like totally pure cleaner. And at that point, then I know I've gotten all that paint out of that little area. But like, what do I know? Like, I don't know how to keep airbrushes clean, so you don't gotta listen to me. But I think that's what that's there for. But I could be wrong. I doubt there will be pre-con sides, but you could bring it to a Blitz side event. You could just get your teeth kicked in. Yeah, I imagine I would. Blitz is really fun. I don't have the mental bandwidth to deal with customizing it. Yeah, absolutely. All you're doing when you do it that way is the same thing as pulling a trigger back without. Sure. Either way, it does tease paint out. You can put cleaner in there and do that, and you can see it come out. You're welcome. Too many of the inks I have tried clog when I add thinners. I stopped adding thinners to my inks and just deal with them straight. Interesting. That's an interesting idea. Okay. Let's paint some rope in a very easy way. I need that. Oh, is that it? Black Lotus? It is. It looks so much bluer than it applies, I think. Hi, Terrasabulba. All right, now I need to get my brush out. So I bought the premium Vallejo fluorescent pink. I also have the Mecha Vallejo pink and also the model color Vallejo pink. And as far as I can tell, they're all the same fucking paint. Which is to say they're all kind of crappy. But like I kind of have just come to expect that fluorescent paints are crappy. But some of them are definitely better than others. This Mr. Color one is good, but it's a little weird in that it needs a different thinner than acrylic paint. Oh, I actually do have a Provocoat paint here, magenta. But one is premium. What's special about the Mecha? You know, I have no idea. I have no idea. If someone in chat could tell me, that'd be awesome. But I have no idea why they have paints called mecha paints. Using my brush box as an actual brush box, Pog. Oh, dude. Did I talk about Dune Part 2 coming in March? No, I did not, but I got a buddy who's coming up to visit me. And we're going to watch the first Dune, and then we're going to go see the new Dune in theaters. And I can't wait. It's going to be fucking sick. Are they glossier, maybe? Yeah, there may be a difference in finish. That would be like a reasonable assumption. I wish my phone that controls my focus didn't die. I didn't know that it would die from full charge in one stream. That is a robot leg. I don't really care if I get the express color on his hands. Speaking of Dune, I started watching David Lynch's Troop something Peaks. The fuck is it? Something T Peaks. It was pretty good. I enjoyed the pilot episode. That was an hour and a half long. Twin Peaks. Thank you. I might try to see it in IMAX. Ooh, that'd be good. That'd be good. I think I might do the same. Strap in. I mean, yeah, it's David Lynch. It's gonna get fucking weird. But so far, it's only a little weird. Okay. I don't see any other ropes. I'm sorry, straps. This is the strap color, not the rope color. Get it right. RME_IRL. Thanks for the prime sub. David Lynch Dune has 40K vibes. What about it gives you a 40K vibe? Fucking Log Lady, dude. Yeah, dude, Log Lady, dude? Who the fuck is Log Lady? Definitely getting paint on the skin. That's okay. I painted this skin in a pretty conventional way last time. still learning how to use contrast paint. Like I'm trying to figure out how much fucking with it I'm allowed to do before it's just like it sets up and it's no longer modifiable. And it's probably different for like whether or not you're using Army Painter or a Scale 75 or Vallejo. It probably depends, but there's definitely like a learning skill to it, especially on like bigger flat things, like on shoes, for instance, like the top of his like boot right here. Like, all right, I'm gonna paint here, and it's gonna be out of focus for the rest of the stream. So I'm just gonna fix it now, and we'll all be happy. Has your view on contrast gotten more favorable, or still not a fan? I mean, it is what it is, right? Like, I'm okay with it. It's not awful. It's just not a thing that I just use a lot, how I paint. But I'm trying to find ways to use it. Because if I have to like paint something with contrast paint and then like it looks all splotchy and shitty, which then just requires me to like basically repaint the thing, then like what's the point? But I think that could be user error, you know? So I think I have to figure it out for myself. Nice. Heck yeah, Evan. I'm also enjoying it. Missed that strap. Strapping young lad. Although I will say that I have now, I did focus more on getting khaki on the boots and stuff. And I'm realizing that was a mistake. Because check this out. Look at these boots that I think just had the green paint on them and not the khaki. Or maybe like a little bit of khaki. Look at that black. That's just one coat. And maybe even a very dark gray highlight added on top. That's way closer to what I want, a bluish black, than what this is drying to be. So I may need to modify these boots. These like the straps are fine, like whatever. The straps can be a little bit lighter and gray, but the boots, I don't know. Mecha color is aimed at the Gunpla folk. Yeah, that's what yeah. It's supposed to dry to a similar gloss as the plastic. Oh, okay, so it's very, very glossy. Crazy thing about season 3 of Twin Peaks, Lynch didn't write episodes. He wrote 18 hours of content like a single movie, and they shot it all that way too. Oh, wow. Okay, that kind of makes sense because the pilot is basically, it's kind of like a movie, basically. It plays like one. The sets, especially on Caladan and the Emperor's throne room, look similar to 40K. And Bene Gesserit look like the Sororitas Famulus. Probably a reason why Dune reminds you of 40K. That looks so nice. It's a little too gray. I may need to apply just another layer of Black Lotus. All right, any more straps? I don't see any more straps. This guy is Strap City, though. This guy is strapped. Fun fact, Twin Peaks was filmed in Roslyn, Washington. There was a mural that they wanted to use, but it said Roslyn Cafe, so they squeezed in an apostrophe S and renamed it to cafe owners to Roslyn. Oh, okay, that's funny. That's funny. All right, I'm just gonna fucking douse this entire leg, dude. Let's go. Let's go. My next Necromunda game has been determined. I am playing against a House Escher gang. Sometime, not this week, but next week. Okay, this guy's got straps fucking for days, dude. We speed painting up here. Express paint from Vallejo. Yeah, we did some airbrushing to finish up this green and this khaki, and now we're gonna apply some speed paints or express paints, and then we'll do some oil washing. Maybe it doesn't really matter what order I do it in. But whatever we do, we're gonna end on traditional painting. Ropes. Any chance we get a YouTube video? You know, I would love to make a Necromunda video. I don't know what it's gonna be, but I do have a video planned. Because like earlier in the stream, I talked about all those things I wanted to do to like shore up like the gear that I've given to my dudes with how they're actually modeled. And also, there are a couple guys that I need to paint still as well. And so I kind of figured I'd just make a Necromunda video where it's like, I'm going to finish my gang and you're going to come along with me for the ride. Like I'm going to do the conversions, do some painting of full characters, paint some extra bits that each guy gets. You know, I'm just going to do it all. More straps. But it really depends, honestly, like on how long it takes me to edit these stupid masterclass courses. They're not stupid; they just take a while. Because like, if I get to a point where I'm still editing it, and like the next thing I have to do is like those conversions, then I'm probably gonna just do those conversions, just because it's so much fun. But that probably won't happen. I'm making pretty good progress. Yeah, I would love to make a Necromunda video. Even if that one doesn't work out, I'll probably still do a different one. A video about a different subject. This guy has so many ropes on him. And his weapons got fucking ropes, dude. All right, cool. That's all done. I think what I'm gonna try to do, I'm afraid of reusing Black Lotus, because I think it's gonna make everything too dark. Because not only was the paint matte, but Vallejo Express dries matte, and if I put stuff on top of a matte coat, then it's gonna really cling to the surface and darken it down even more. So I'm curious if I just use a black wash, if that's gonna solve my problem. I do find it funny that you chose the one Necromunda gang with a high model count. Yeah, dude, that was totally accidental. Four of my dudes are out of commission on the first game, and but I made a lot of money. I got 130 credits, and a juve for my gang costs like 20 to 40 credits, like 40 if you really want to kit them out. So I could buy like fucking 4 more dudes. Okay. Oh, I found a black that was blacker for 2 thin coats. There was one called Doom Death Black, which I think was the darker one. Drown them in bodies. Exactly. Cador has this thing called, similar to actually novitiates in Kill Team. They generate faith dice, and they can use those faith dice for any number of things. And one of those things is just summoning more dudes to the battle. Because like when you have like a roster in Necromunda, wait, that's not the problem with this wash. Is it's not black. Is there a black wash for 2 thin coats, like a pure black wash? You know what? I'm gonna grab the Vallejo Express black wash. I think there's a black wash. Is there a fucking black wash? Are there washes in this set? Oh, there is. Sepia wash. All right, where's the black wash? I want to use GW's new shit, because that stuff is like, it's too dark. Or sorry, it's too glossy. Oblivion Black Wash is the 2 thin coats wash. Well, that's sad. Or a little sad, because it is, it's not black. Maybe the medium is lightening it a little bit. You're a fucking rope. Is that a Boondock Saints reference? I'm ignorant as I don't play the game. Just mini paint and lore binge. Is Necromunda just a totally different rule set or a whole other game in the same universe? It is both things. It is a totally different rule set from 40K, and it is also in the same universe. I don't think GW would ever make a game that wasn't in one of their pre-existing universes, unless they were establishing something totally new, which happens sometimes, but maybe like once every 15 years. Boondock. Okay. We're just gonna take a little, oh, it's 410, fuck. All right, I feel like I should be able to find black wash really easily. Demon blood. Saying that, I'm looking at the tops of paint pots, and I saw this one, and then I pulled it out, and it's umber wash. So maybe finding the black wash isn't going to be as easy as I thought it was going to be. What is this? Charcoal. What is this? Black? Oh, just black paint. All right, well, I got the fucking shit out now, so I will just try to use Black Lotus and see if it does the thing that I'm concerned it's going to do, as opposed to wasting time looking for it. Wait, I'm an idiot. It's right here. Why is the label brown? God. I mean, that one Lord of the Rings war game is UW's, right? Yeah, but that game came out 20 years ago. How long does a game of Necromunda last? A couple of hours. Yeah, I would say it's like a 40K game. I mean, I bet 40K takes longer because the setup and teardown is a little bit more involved. That being said, the terrain required for Necromunda is pretty extensive. I don't know, I never know how to answer questions about how long war games take, because they kind of all take a long time. And if you're playing a war game for like your first game, your second game, your third game, your fourth game, hell, even your fifth game, they all take a long time, you know? So yeah, I played a game of Necromunda, my first one, really, my real first one, and it took me 5.5 hours, you know? But I don't really mind that, you know?
I kick ass for the Lord.
What up, Keeper? Nox Geek, thanks for the sub. Yeah, we're doing a Dominion campaign, but with some modifications because we're using some of the scenario suggested by Goonhammer. Those guys love Necromunda. They also write amazing articles about Necromunda. The difference is, yeah, that's true, Ozp. That's a good point. There is a post-game process to Necromunda where you see what happens to your gangers that are out of commission. You got taken to the dock sometimes. You go to the trading post to buy shit. That's a good point. I did not remember that. I've never played a game of 40K in under 3.5 hours, and that was on TTS, yeah. My first ever game of 40K was 6.5, 7 hours. Yeah, honestly, I feel like that's pretty normal. And I feel like if you were to say that to anyone who was like, wasn't into the game or was like starting to get into the game, they'd be like, what the fuck? Like, are you serious? It's like, yeah, you know, war games take a while. All right, we got Blackwash. We're doing it live. It's gonna douse these strappy straps with some wash, and then we'll dry it with a hair dryer, and we'll see. We'll see if that gets us close to the level of black that we want on these larger flat surfaces like the boots. All right, I'm gonna mute myself. I'm gonna blast this motherfucker with some heat, and then we'll take a look. Jay from Eons of Battle says that a full 2K point takes him 2.5 hours. Jay, I would say that you are not a normal 40K gamer as far as the average consumer is concerned. Which is, I'm not saying you're bad for that, but I think you probably do a lot of, maybe I'm wrong, but you probably played a fair number of 40K games in your lifespan and a decent amount of 10th edition ones. You know, let alone how many you played in your entire career. Also, interesting thing to mention that depending on what armies you're playing in 40K, your experience might just take longer, just because certain armies just take longer to physically move them around the table because they have more models. Good point, good point. Jay makes up the rules as he goes. What do you think of historical wargaming? I don't really have much of an opinion, if I'm being totally honest, just because never really played a game, you know. I think these were darkened down very nicely by this wash, so I'll just use it again. Blues Minis. I used to work at a game store. We had tables dedicated to 40K, and a lot of new people came in to learn. Remember one of the longest games I witnessed was 6 hours long, and they got through their first 2 turns of the game. Oh, thank you, Keeper. Appreciate it. Appreciate the love. Painter for 20 years. It's a solid amount of time. All right, guys, we're nearing the end of our hobby stream here. Who should we raid? Anyone got any thoughts, opinions, desires? What do you guys think? Any arcades painting? That's cool, man. You're very welcome, Retro Evil Inc. Very welcome. I enjoy the streams quite a bit. Marco? Do Marco. Haven't raided Marco in a while. I didn't paint the bottom of his boot with the contrast paint? What am I doing? What am I doing with my life? John, you give me a lot of inspiration. Using wet palettes and a wider color range outside of Games Workshop. Awesome. Glad to hear that, man. Marco isn't streaming today. He should be back tomorrow, though. Okay. 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 Oh, that was some decent progress. We got the airbrushing done. We got the first layer of express paints down on these guys. We gotta do an oil wash. We gotta paint the brown of like their tabards and stuff. And then their heads. And a couple other small ancillary things. But decent progress. Decent progress for sure. My next step, get into the airbrush. Nice. Yeah, I would say it's a good tool to learn how to use, honestly. Not required by any stretch of the imagination, but still a very valuable tool. Okay. All right. Let's raid the only channel that is live that someone said. Penny Arcade. Maybe someone else. Let's see if there's anyone else live. Who is under the Warhammer tag? Mohawk? Let's do a small person. He's speaking French. All right, we're gonna do someone painting 40K stuff. Bunka Gaming. All right, guys, I'm sending you over to someone who is a fresh or a smaller streamer, so be nice. All right, guys, I'm gonna hit raid here. Hit join raid when it pops up at the top of chat. Otherwise, have a wonderful week. You're very welcome, Pan Dan. I don't know if that worked. Did that work? Bye, Father. Let's try this. I'm so shit at streaming. Jesus Christ. Did not work. Okay, here it goes. This doesn't work. There we go. You're welcome, Travel Cedric. Got a lot of raiders. Fuck yeah. Let's go. All right, see you guys later.